Let's dive right into the passage here. Whether the reign of a French monarch such as Hugh Capet or Henry I was historically consequential or relatively uneventful, its trajectory was shaped by questions of legitimacy and therefore cannot be understood without a corollary understanding of the factors that allowed the monarch to blank his right to hold the throne. Woo, it's a lot. Okay. So let's try to focus on the blank area, right? They allowed the monarch to blank his right to hold the throne. So we're talking about holding the throne. And then there's earlier stuff where they're talking about legitimacy, questions of legitimacy. So there seems to be some sort of like either, I guess it's a contrast here, right? So it cannot be understood without understanding the factors that allowed the monarch to, I don't know, keep his right to hold the throne, right? Or something like that. They're talking about holding the throne, but then here they're questioning it. And we're trying to add on something. So I think there is some sort of contrast. This is a tricky one. Let's look at the answer choices. So reciprocate means to kind of match, right? So if someone gives you a gift, you might reciprocate, meaning, give them a gift in return, right? So it's kind of match is a good word to me. I think it kind of means that. So I'll put that there. I don't know what that would mean, though, in this case, right? To kind of give back or match his right to hold the throne. Match it to what? We're talking about the right to hold the throne. There is no other thing here, really. So that doesn't really make sense. Annotate, you might know, because that's kind of what I'm doing every time I do these questions on my iPad, is I'm making notes about the question. Annotate is to kind of make notes about something. So you're not annotating a right. It's not like a document that you're jotting in the margins for. So that just doesn't make any sense here. Buttress is a very good word to know. It means support. And so here I do feel like we have some sense of the right meaning for this passage. His support, right? So we don't understand the monarch when there was questions of legitimacy, whether they could hold the throne, without understanding the ability of the monarch to support his right to hold the throne. So yeah, supporting his right to hold the throne, he's keeping the throne in some way. It kind of fits with what I predicted, but this is a tough one. Let's go to D, and then maybe just by eliminating that, we'll be stuck with C, which is fine. So disengage, that's definitely the opposite connotation of C. So the kings are keeping the throne. There are questions of legitimacy, but what we're talking about is that they are in fact kings, right? So they are staying on the throne. So disengaging from the throne doesn't make sense. We have no evidence that they're giving up the monarchy, what we would call abdicating. So that just doesn't make sense. We have no evidence of that. So C is the right word here. I get that this one is difficult. Just to throw another word in here that doesn't really matter, but maybe you're curious about it, the word corollary. That means something like secondary. So, right, they're saying here, we can't understand this primary stuff about the monarch without having a secondary understanding of kind of how they kept the throne despite the questions of legitimacy. So, yeah, good word to know. It's definitely a very academic sounding word. This whole passage has that kind of college professor feel, which makes it difficult to understand. But I would say that these answer choices are a nice list of words to know. They could come up in lots of contexts, and so it's good to have some memorized definitions of them.